Ignacio Bahamondes versus Christos Giagos. Ignacio's coming in as a very heavy minus 340 favorite. Christos is a plus 270. Can't get too cheeky on this one and try to, act a little bit crazy on this because Gallegos, this is actually his second UFC run. When I was watching his tape, I was like, damn, this guy was fighting back in the sponsored shorts. Shorts still had the sponsors era and
Yeah.
everything. How long has he been in the UFC? And he had a run in 2014 and 2015. Then he got cut, had to work his way back. And it was a long road back for Christos until 2018. Made his way back into the UFC. And he's just been very spotty guy. Lost his last fight September last year. I believe we covered this. Lost to Daniel Zellhuber by Anaconda choke. Beat Ricky Glenn before that. Had a grappling match with some guy. I'm not even going to try to fucking pronounce his name. And then dropped Thiago Moises and Armin Sarukian. No shame to losing to those two guys and getting finished by them in round one. But still, you got finished in round one by both of those guys. And in your last four fights, your four actual UFC fights, not counting that grappling match, you only have one win and three losses. And that is very concerning. He's also getting up there. Well, actually, he's not, but he has a lot of miles. He's not that old. He's only 34, but he has a lot of wear and tear. 20-11, been fighting since 2010 when he had his pro debut. And yeah, he's just not exactly the best guy, unfortunately. I mean, not to diss him, not to have any disrespect, but everybody has a place in the UFC. Not everybody can be champion. Not everybody can be top 15. But I just think his second run is unfortunately about to come to an end if he drops this. He's a prime cut candidate. And I just don't really see a path to him winning this against Ignacio Bahamondes. The only thing that gives me pause and would make me, if you really were just hell-bent on choosing Christos, is he does shoot a lot of takedowns. He does try to get his grappling going because, let's face it, if he tries to make this a pure striking match with Ignacio, he's definitely going to lose. His best chance is to try to incorporate some of those takedowns in and try to be a little bit sneaky with those and test the grappling of Bahamondes, because any other way, he's going to lose a decision or he's going to get knocked out. Now, with that being said, we know that Bahamondes is the way superior striker. The grappling's the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause, but here's something to kind of take the edge off how much of a favorite he is, since I am picking Bahamondes on this, is I'm curious what it would be like for a double for KO, TKO, or sub for Bahamondes.
KO or sub is at minus 120.
Oh, fuck. That's not as good as I thought it would be, because Bahamondes by sub alone is plus 380. But here's my thing with that. Quick explanation of why I would like to have sub in there. So I just saw, it wasn't his last fight, because unfortunately his last fight he lost the unanimous decision to Ludovic Klein. Bahamondes did. But when I was watching his fight against Rong Zhu, Bahamondes got the round 3 Bravo choke win off a shitty sloppy takedown that Rong Zhu was shooting on him. So I was kind of wondering if that was a possibility with Gallegos in this fight, because Gallegos isn't exactly shooting textbook takedowns here. He kind of is just wildly kind of charging in, trying to use that momentum and that pressure to get the takedown rather than some type of technique or leverage or whatever. So that's kind of the most difficult part for me on this is if you go Bahamondes KO TKO by itself, it's plus 140. If you go him by sub, it's plus 380. I see both as very likely, especially since Gallegos does have so many miles and has been finished before. I definitely could see it. He's definitely been finished by strikes and sub, and he does get sloppy. It's just tough choosing between the two, but I guess I'll say sub for the plus 380 to take the edge off. What are you thinking?
Man, Giagos, dangerous knees, wants to ground and pound, so he is not afraid to take it to the ground, but got subbed by Daniel Zellhuber, man. The whitest not white guy in the world.
Yeah.
Call back to our last episode. But when I'm looking at Zellhuber, one of the things I think about him is he's a long rangey guy who he can get the sub. And that's exactly what we got here with Ignacio. He's got the 4-inch reach advantage, younger, really smooth. I think he's got all aspects to his game. He has very good accuracy, which I feel like results in those precision knockouts versus power knockouts. And A-level kicks, I almost put elite kicks. I don't think that they're quite there, but they are very high level type kicks that he has. I think I'll play it safe. I'll go with the sub knockout combo. I mean, I really think Bahamondes should win this. Baja Blast should win this. We're looking at 95% of the bets, 95% of the money. So, I mean, this guy, he's going to win. It's at over minus 300. I feel like just to get rid of that, you're going to have to knock out one of the methods, and I guess the method on knockout would be decision. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I can't disagree with that at all because, he's been finished in like his last, like I said, he's won one, lost the last 3, 2 of those come by round 1 finish. He's pretty much prime to be finished. Unfortunately, it's just trying to figure out which way when I can see both being very likely, since he is a guy that for whatever reason is just hell bent on shooting takedowns that he probably shouldn't. That's just the most difficult part, is trying to figure that out for sure.
Yeah, and like if you put Zellhuber and Bahamondes in a cage, I think Ignacio's better. So if he's getting subbed by Zellhuber, I have to go Ignacio.
That'd be a good fight next, Bahamondes and Zellhuber.
We might see it. We might see it. Ignacio has to win this fight.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover old spot from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome to our podcast. Better in Green.